Now, usually I don't like to do videos like this where it starts with the stereotypical YouTuber sigh. This is a very hard video for me to make. Usually when I do these yearly recap videos, it's sometimes it's not easy, but usually the positives outweigh the negatives, and unfortunately this past year was just a little overwhelming for me. Besides just, typical bullcrap going on in life and things like that, I think that for the most part it was a lot of personal things that got in the way of being a successful YouTuber. Usually I try not to mix my personal life with any kind of business opportunity or just business in general. However, one of the things that I keep reminding myself when I started this channel, I kept saying this over and over, that it doesn't matter how big I am, I'm going to be 100% real and honest, and I wouldn't be a sham or a fraud to my audience. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that like to fake certain things, that would rather leave things unspoken. I'm not one of them. Now, this sole fact, unfortunately, isn't making me grow as fast as I originally wanted to, but that's okay, because I promised myself that if I was going to make a big YouTube channel, I would do it my way, and I wouldn't do it any other way. Now, you're here for the yearly recap video, not here to sit and listen to me talk, because that's pretty much all it's been this year, is me talking about certain things that quite frankly isn't anyone's business. But I think at this point it's time to explain what this year was like for me. So let's begin. The year 2019. The beginning of the year was fantastic. I took delivery of one of my dream cars. A car I've wanted ever since I was a kid. Usually people like to say, oh, I was inspired by the Fast and Furious franchises, Paul Walker, and things like that. I'm not going to lie to you. Really didn't pay as much attention to the Fast and Furious series as I probably should have as a kid. But the number one thing that always brought me back to that car was playing Gran Turismo with my close family friend from a long time ago. This is like Brazil type stuff. It was a car that I've always picked. Never really knew much about it until I grew older. Now, it's emotional for me because it was something I had conquered. It was something I had set out to. It was a goal I had set for myself that I achieved. It was one of the biggest goals I've ever achieved in my life. It certainly is something that I think serves as anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Later on throughout the years, that particular car had given me more troubles than at the time I thought it was worth me, and it's really bringing me down. And this that just happened to the Skyline, which was supposed to be one of the biggest investments on the channel, just completely sank that entire dream of mine that I had. It's not easy. It really isn't. But I'm just, I'm going forward. I got screwed by Japanese classics, and yes, I will name and shame them right now. That car, as old as it is, which is understandable, is giving me more issues than I originally had thought. That was blow number one. But I didn't let that stop me from continuing to invest my time and money into this car, because I knew that it was my dream car. It was a car that I knew would speed up some things here on the channel. It would ultimately be an investment. Let's cross our fingers. Jesus, dude. We'll let her idle for a bit. Well, as you can see, I'm missing a cam cap ball here. As I was doing my pass, so the exhaust side is done, but as I was doing my final pass on all these cam caps here with a torque wrench, I managed to somehow snap the cam cap bolt inside the head here, and I managed to stretch and snap one of the threads off of one here. The car couldn't be quieter. So I'm super stoked about that. The car is ready to rip. I think that after I fixed my Skyline, after I figured out that knocking issue, that was when a glimmer of hope kind of pushed me forward into, you know, into better things, and ultimately it did cheer me up, and I kept going. But I never really saw the benefits of it. Over time, as time went on, I had lost my job. I had gotten a promotion of sorts at another location, which was probably one of the biggest mistakes I probably ever made in my life. I imagine being called an asshole by the owner of a company and sitting there and you can't say anything about it, because in the back of your head you know you have to care for your family and you have to make sure that the bills are paid. Luckily for me, I was able to stand up for myself as I usually do and move on past that and find another job closer to home. Thankfully I still have that job, and been able to move some pieces around to give me a little bit more time for myself. 2019, you've been a year of struggles. Throughout the summer, I found no motivation to do YouTube videos because for the most part I was focusing more on myself, and I think that that was good in some ways and bad in other ways. I made some really great relationships with a lot of companies. I made some great relationships with friends. I got a little bit more acclimated to the surroundings here in Maryland, and things were looking up. Until I had a checkup this year, a checkup that wasn't pleasing, to say the least. It wasn't, you know, in terms of the results. I was diagnosed with a hereditary disease that is not contagious, but will live with me for the rest of my life, at least until I'm 60 or 70 years old. That was the blow. Bigger blow than the Skyline could ever offer to me. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know, you know, what to do. I couldn't picture myself being able to be financially capable of obtaining surgery to fix this. But nonetheless, I said to myself, the show must go on. I went to H2O, had the best time of my life. Alright, here we go. Look at the camera, I'm recording. We gotta go. Come on, send that shit, send that shit, send that shit. You know, straight shot forward into the end of the year. I kind of knew that was that year. It was coming. I said, you know, H2O was going to turn things around, and it really did. I had a lot of fun, met a lot of people.
Ben disappeared from us like 6 times. We were at the same meet. He comes, does a burnout, leaves, and comes back when the cops are there. And after that, I didn't see Ed for the rest of the day.
Ed woke up, had a cup of cereal, and then just left.
It was great. I loved it. I loved it. With it came tragedy. A little bit after H2O, fast forward a couple of months, one of my close childhood friends had lost his family member. I think that kind of put into perspective that I think about YouTube and I think about my friends, I think about my family and my job, and because of my job I haven't been able to do what I love, which is why in 2019 I think it was the hardest year I've ever had to endure, because I spent more time focusing on something so pointless when time is so valuable. It's more valuable than money. The first thing I did when I found out what had happened was I texted him and I said, I'm coming to Virginia right now. And I went to Virginia to go be with him. H2O, that incident, made me make a decision that in 2020 that I was no longer going to be in the position that I was in at my current job. And bless them, they were able to give me a position that is reasonable on the hours. It's something that I feel like I would be more comfortable doing in the long run, ultimately making me similar to even potentially more than what I was making currently. I don't know what 2020 has in store for me, and like I said, it's taken multiple takes to do this video, and I hate that it's not as positive as you guys originally anticipated. There was no teaser trailer, there was no build-up, there was nothing. Everything else was just complete and utter disaster for the channel, YouTube algorithm. It's difficult for me to just pretend like nothing's happening. And I that's the thing, like, people bash me all the time on social media, like, dude, like, you have a failing YouTube channel and you complain about it and this and that. Some people, they like to poke at my weakness, which is I wear my heart on my sleeve, and quite frankly, you know, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not gonna sit here and be fake in front of the camera. Just because there's a camera in front of me and I'm presenting myself to 2.1 thousand people doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to change my demeanor. It's just not gonna happen. Last and certainly not least, I hit 2,000 subscribers. That was exciting. I've been stuck at 1,000 and so subscribers for so long that I thought that my channel was dead. Quite frankly, I still think it is, but you guys are still here to support me, and I really do appreciate it. You know, I don't know what 2020 has in store for me. Like I said, I didn't want to do this video, but I owe you guys a dear 2019 video. And I know it's not something that, I know this is definitely not what you guys wanted to see. But here's the harsh reality of it. Stay true to yourself and stand up for what you believe in. Time is of the essence. There are going to be people that come and go in your life, but if you invest time in the wrong people, you ultimately will see that you're stuck. Invest time in yourself. It's important. I can't tell you how much weight I've gained over the past year, and it's something that it's not, and it's another thing too, but it's something that was the after effects of everything that kind of snowballed into what it is now. It basically, 2019 has taught me that the more time you invest in yourself, the more time that you invest in those that care about you genuinely, ultimately it doesn't matter what kind of money you make on this earth, the experience and the time that you spend is going to be worth it in the end. I think 2019 I've let way too many negative people influence me in my decisions, and I think that in 2020 we're not going to let that happen. You know, and that started in H2O. Negative comments, deleted. Negative people on my social media, you know, deleted, blocked. My Twitter page no longer exists. 2020 is a new year for me, it's a new year for you, and it's a new year for this channel. But if it's one thing that I'm going to be honest with you and that'll never change, is that I will do what makes me happy on this channel. And if you don't like the way that I do things around here, do me the biggest favor, hit that unsubscribe button and go watch TJ Hunt. Go watch all those fake-ass YouTubers. Do that favor for yourself, because we don't need that here. This has been your boy God Maliga. You can follow me on Instagram. That's the best way to keep up with me and my shenanigans on a daily basis for now. That's going to be in the description below. I'm out. Peace.